Welcome to Amsterdam, one of Europe's most iconic cities and a historic hub within the Netherlands. Winter here is known for being cold, wet, and gray, making this an odd choice of season for American travelers like ourselves to visit. But when the sun goes down, the city comes alive in a way that can only be seen at this time of year.
Goedenavond iedereen and welcome by Amsterdam. You may have noticed we're bundled up like it is the end of the freaking world, and that is because we're about to do a more or less 3-mile hike around Amsterdam city center. We are taking a stroll around the city for the Winter Lights Festival. There's 2 ways to do this, 3 if you count the bike, but usually people are going by canal tour or by foot. We chose to go by foot, 1 because it's a little less expensive, and 2 because we can move at our own pace, 3 of course because we can grab food on the way. And part of the ticket price we paid to do the festival walk includes some brews and bites along the way at 4 different locations. We've never done anything like this before. Amsterdam does this every year, but it's our first time being here in the winter. And although we could not have chosen a colder day for this, we're excited nonetheless. So let's get started. I'm Tim.
I'm Katie.
And we do things like this. This festival app is going to be our roadmap this evening. Now, to just download the app and view the map is only 6 or 7 euros. So if you want to have the cheapest possible experience, you can stick with just that and be just fine. If, however, you want to bundle your brews and bites with the festival experience and know where all the participating restaurants are as you go, you can pay a little bit extra. We did that. I don't know exactly how much it was off the top of my head, but I will put the information at the bottom of your screen in case you're interested in doing something similar. Now, near as we can tell, and we could be wrong about this, so don't take this as gospel, there's no particular order you have to experience these attractions in. All you gotta do is walk around the path to see them all. So we chose to start with the one that was closest to our hotel in Dam Square, which itself is at Amsterdam Centraal. We are gonna try our damnedest to give you accurate information tonight, but as this is our first time doing anything like this, particularly in Amsterdam, particularly in the winter, we could have some bad information throughout. We'll try to correct it as we go if so. If you're a Dutchie who does this all the time and you see something we did wrong, feel free to correct us.
When you're at a light display and you have access to your app, you can find the one you're looking at and read more about the display. You can find out who built it, what it means, or what it's supposed to mean, fun facts about the display, and just learn a little bit more about it. This is the benefit of having the access to the app, is to get a little bit more insight into the different displays you'll be looking at.
So this first display is known simply as the sun. It's made up of more than 800 light bulbs, each one controlled individually, so it creates a living, shifting pattern like solar activity. This was designed by the Norwegian Zenisk lighting studio, and it's meant to indicate that in 2025, the sun is no longer just a symbol of light, warmth, and fertility. In an age of global warming, its image also reminds us of how fragile life on Earth really is. Never cross the street without looking both ways in Amsterdam and waiting for a signal if you have one. You'll see other people do it, but they're used to dodging the bikes. More than likely, you aren't. First spot on the foodie tour is We Are Eden, which is inside a restaurant complex along the river and looks schwanky. We're not guaranteed a sit-down meal. We're actually only guaranteed takeaway, so we may not be dining in, but we'll see what happens. We have been told that if we scan the QR code here, we'll be given a bite to go grab from the bar area. Oh, dankjewel.
2 vouchers.
Oh,
For your next visit.
wonderful. Dankjewel.
Enjoy.
If I am to be honest with you all, I have literally no idea what we just picked up, but it was very hot, it was fresh, and it looks fairly sizable. So whatever it is, I'm not disappointed. This is one of 4 bites we'll be picking up along the way. Yeah?
Some mustard maybe corned beef.
Look like might be corned beef, yeah.
And like Swiss cheese, kind of like a Reuben. Nice, that'll be a good nice snack for a cold day.
Back in the cold and rapidly approaching our next destination, which is the Nemo Science Museum. You can see it there, but you'll see it better in just a second. We're in one of those rare spaces where both bikes and pedestrians are welcome to travel along the same path, and it's terrifying. The bikes come like bikes out of hell.
Okay, we are now standing in front of the Nemo Science Museum, and we're looking at Fracture Point, by Filip Roca. It's using the architecture of the Science Museum as inspiration for an alternate reality. As we're looking at it, the lines are bending and twisting and moving. It's kind of like watching threads snap. It's kind of peaceful, but also a little disconcerting.
It's kind of like what the architectural feat in the Roses was supposed to look like before it all collapsed. If you haven't seen that movie, you won't know what we're talking about. But
without the big sail on top. But it is a cool looking building.
This one here is one of the most oft photographed of the entire festival. Whale Fall is a giant whale skeleton floating on water in front of the National Maritime Museum. Floating may be a bit generous, it seems to just be sitting there, but it's meant to remind us of the cycle of life. When the whale dies, its body sinks to the ocean floor. In so doing, it sustains entire ecosystems for years, from scavengers to microorganisms. What looks like an ending is, in fact, a beginning. Every whale's legacy is new life. The rude color of the skeleton is also meant to remind us of the bloody history of whaling, a practice that sadly still hasn't been banned everywhere, but has been banned here in the Netherlands. This is one of a few on the tour that I think actually might be better viewed from the canal boats, but again, the canal boats move at their pace, not at your pace, so we like that we can stop and take pictures. It was the choice we made today. The next one is quite close, it looks like.
This one's cool.
Like the others haven't been.
No. It's they're all cool. I like motion.
Energy.
Yeah, kinetic energy. I mean, the whale one was definitely meaningful.
But this one sparkles.
But this one's All right, we are looking at Making Waves, which is by Jos Agasi and Noortje Vanden. It's reminiscent of a city skyline, but also like sun and light reflecting on water. The artists describe it as capturing the light that's already here. It's all around us. Our cities produce an enormous amount of light, especially in winter when the days are shorter. And sometimes the canals catch that light, holding it in rippling reflection. It's really cool to look at it because it does what's happening on the water is mirroring what's happening in the exhibit as well. It's very cool. I actually like that we're not viewing it from the water because I think we can see that effect better from over here.
My word, this path takes some twists and turns.
The map was very helpful.
I don't know how anyone would know to do this without the app. It's totally worth the €6 or €7.
Obviously, the people can view them without the app. I mean, they're all in public, but paying for the app does donate.
I mean, we're literally walking like along like a sports complex here. Like, would you know to do that without paying €7?
Okay, we are getting a very up-close look at Under Pressure by Pavol Truben, a downward-facing dog, a sun salutation. The red figures in Pavol Truben's Under Pressure are clearly trying very hard. Sound familiar? If anyone's ever done yoga before, you know how hard some of those poses can be. He states we have to perform at work, in our social lives, and in our relationships. Every success, every failure gets tracked. We count our steps, measure our sleep, quantify our output, and then suddenly burn out. So in this piece, Truben is holding up a mirror to us, the modern Western human. We're giant heads perched on stiff bodies. The weekly yoga class is meant to keep us balanced, but really we're top heavy. But there's hope. Step closer and listen carefully. They're breathing. They release lies in the exhale. Go ahead, join them, and breathe out. I guess we're meant to get closer. The backpacks have breathing machines in them, so if you're a pedestrian participant, you get to hear the yoga breathing.
Son of a gun. Fucker's breathing. That's kind of creepy. This next exhibit is appropriately named Orb, all caps. At first glance, it feels like a mysterious object, but in reality, it's made from something surprisingly ordinary. Traffic mirrors. Each one reflects a fragment of the surrounding city. Its perfect circular form is a nod to the number pi, the ratio between a circle's circumference and its diameter. Orb consists of 90 traffic mirrors in total and has a diameter of 4 meters. The artist, Spy, does not want to reveal their identity. So it could be Banksy, and we should all assume that it is until we're told otherwise. Or, equally probable, It might have been Katie. Something we learned on this trip is that Amsterdam actually does have a metro, and only a small percentage of that metro actually travels underground. But we appear to be passing through one of those very rare sections where such is the case. Thank you to the kind Dutchie who pointed us in this direction, because we thought we were going totally the wrong way until we were corrected.
We are standing in front of OT 1407 by Stefan Reiss. This is meant to look like a harp of color, and it's actually representing a color alphabet. Each color and shape you see corresponds to either the letter or the shape that the mouth makes when producing the sound. Vowels are supposed to be gray, consonants are the bright colors, and there's even Morse code. The artwork is 8 meters wide, and it was made in Germany and painted with industrial car paint.
I like this one because it has a lot of kinetic energy. It jumps, it glitches, it changes colors. It's never the same thing twice. You look away, you look back, bam, completely different. We have done a canal tour, and we loved seeing all this old architecture in the city. One day, maybe we'll do a tour for the vlog and just focus on things like this. Not today, but I wanted to highlight this because it's so prettyful. Now we are gonna wind up getting a little bit closer than this to I Contain Multitudes, but I feel like the best view with the naked eye is definitely from across the opposing bridge. But before we get to that, it's time to stop for another food bite. I will reiterate, for the sake of reiterating it, that no establishment is obliged to give us seating. If they give us seating, it's a bonus, and Soul Kitchen not only gave us seats, they also gave us 2 half glasses of cava and these delightful tuna rolls, which are fairly big, particularly for tuna rolls.
Me being a sushi fan, that's delicious. Tuna hand roll, fresh raw tuna in there, spicy sauce, some seaweed, sushi rice. Really good, and a nice portion, and very easy to pick up and eat.
I gotta say, so far, the brews and bites has been an incredible investment.
Yeah, first of all, you get to, now this isn't guaranteed. We've gotten to step inside and sit down for a few minutes, use toilet and all that. They've been pretty sizable. Like, I'm not starving walking around right now.
Not at all.
Soul Kitchen really stepped it up. Nice seating, a little glass of cava with the hand roll. That was excellent, and it definitely made me interested in going back there and trying their restaurant.
That's the thing. I think a lot of these participating restaurants are benefiting from exposure.
Exactly.
Because people follow the path and then they enter these cool places where, oh, I'd love to come back and have a full meal here.
Right. Yeah, definitely would come back and try Soul Kitchen again. And we are eating.
You're for sure saving money on the food as you go.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a value. And I know you're only getting a tasting of it, but still, I mean, back at home, that hand roll and a half glass of cava, probably like $15, maybe even $20, depending on where you are. In DC or New York, $20.
All right, we are back on the trail, and we are officially stopping now at I Contain Multitudes, and Katie knows more about this one than I do.
Only because I read it a few minutes ago. So, I Contain Multitudes. These words were written by American poet Walt Whitman in 1855. And you see that last line glowing above the colorful arch. The I Contain Multitudes borrows its form from traditional luminary festive light sculptures used in Italy since the 17th century. And this is an Italian artist who put together this display, Marinella Senatore. Here, Marinella Senatore reminds us that we all carry a multitude of identities within us. Each of us is a collection of contradictions, and in those differences within ourselves lies our shared human connection. That diversity is something to celebrate.
Another key benefit of having access to that app is that when you get lost, as we just did, it's easy enough to find your way back to the planned route. I'm not so sure we'd be able to do that on our own. We don't know where any of these sculptures are without being told by an educated app. Okay, now that we have officially recovered our path, we are looking here at 10,000 thoughts. The idea behind this one is that our thoughts are as fleeting as they are persistent. Some arise and vanish without leaving a trace. Others circle back again and again, tugging at our minds. Esther, Rolinson, the artist, worked on this for 3 months, using fishing lines to hold each piece in place, and 30 meters square of material was used to create the final product, which I'll grant you is a little harder to see with a big-ass boat in the way. So this one is Kwantumfantum Multiversum, which was designed by 1,600 Amsterdam primary school students. And it is many things, but it is not boring. A cutting-edge quantum computer will be installed at the Amsterdam Science Park. This machine will have unprecedented computing power, and in a series of workshops, Amsterdam's children imagine what a future shaped by the quantum technology might look like. The next one you see behind me does run a long way down this canal, which makes it very, very difficult to get in one frame. So I'll do my best, and I'll let Katie take over the talking points.
This is Abri Maximaal by Vissers Worstenbosch. This is a bus shelter where someone seems to have forgotten to hang the poster. Without the seductive image, the structure behind all that commerce stands bare and almost unsettling. We peek behind the curtain at the fluorescent tubes and tangled wires. Vissers Worstenbosch asks a fundamental question. Could we use all those screens, shelters, and banners we currently fill with ads for something better? Can we dedicate them to our imagination instead of to capitalism?
We are a little more than halfway through our Winter Lights walk, and at this point I did want to throw out a quick reminder that if you've enjoyed this content, please consider giving us a like, a comment, or a subscription to help our channel grow. I don't know why you would enjoy this chaos, but here you are still watching anyway, so. All right, our last two food stops are pretty much on top of each other, so this is gonna go rapid fire here. We are at De Basel right now, and this is pumpkin soup, which is steaming hot, accompanied by, what was the bread?
The bread is, I believe, a multi-grain bun with tarragon butter. I'm a soup gal.
You are, and you're a pumpkin soup gal
I
too.
approve this soup message.
Ta-da!
Tarragon butter.
I just like the word tarragon. Doesn't even
It
need to
sounds
taste
like a
it.
dragon.
Versa. Katie likened this to Restaurant Week in Baltimore City, and I agree, it's like a food festival. Every stop, we got excellent food, cozy restaurant, indoor seating, which is not always guaranteed, but we've had it.
It's been really fun, really like a food journey and a light show journey.
And we've still got one more stop, and then I think it's lights for the rest of the evening.
Yes. One more food stop and then all lights.
Would you look at this whole secret village down here that we never would have found if we hadn't bought into the Brews and Bites? Okay, our last stop is Black and Blue here in what appears to be Pride Alley, which I am all about the vibe here. We just, one more night we would spend a little more time here, but we only just found it and we're leaving tomorrow. So, our final bite, steak tartare. This looks like multi-grain bread. There was a vegan option as well, but we went with the meat option because ik heb honger down the hatch.
Why do they make everything so tall here?
That's why I have you try things instead of me, because my front teeth don't even go all the way through.
It's delicious. There's like this little kind of creamy mustard on top, some tomato, good spices. It's really good. It reminds me of being back in Phantasialand when we had the tartare
Yeah.
at the Uwerk restaurant.
Oh, it was so good.
I think it's a great finisher for our walk. And you could have done them in any order. We just did them in the order that we did.
Correct. And we also, for the record, were offered seats indoors, but seeing as how we're close to the end of our food journey.
Yeah, and I just thought since we're talking about the food and doing the light and stuff.
It was kind of a quieter vibe inside, so we decided no matter where we go or what we do, we never have enough time. It's just a Tim and Katie staple. There's always one or two more things that we see on our last day that we're like, and then we go back. This is our second visit to Amsterdam. We'll come back a third time and we'll try to do all these things, and then we'll do them, and then we'll find three more things that we meant to do, and the list just keeps going on. Okay, we are back at it for our last sprint through some of these displays, and we are looking now at windows. This is actually meant to draw attention to the 17th century single cook behind them. It's quite a modest and unassuming building, but in the 17th century, even the relatively liberal Dutch Republic had some religious limits. So there's a bit of history tucked in behind here. This is where religious refugees used to practice back in 17th century Amsterdam. And with windows, Dutch artist Lin Lichte seeks to undo the invisibility retroactively. Okay, so far this one is my favorite. These are projections on this bridge that are meant to look like fauna, I believe, but in the shape of various art pieces. I talk like I know, but I'm really just assuming. Katie actually has the guide open.
So here is French artist Luminaries playfully reimagining classic Dutch folklore in symbols. The hybrid creatures you see are metamorphones. They're entirely imaginary archetypes from Dutch culture fused with elements of plants and animals, forming new fairy tale figures caught up in new stories. It does kind of give Efteling, doesn't it?
It does a little
Like
bit.
fairy tale. It's an analog projection, which is based on hand-drawn sketches, but seems like a single image. But it's actually made up of 10 separate panels that blend seamlessly.
So this is easily one of the best lit displays so far, and we've actually seen this one during the day and took pictures with it before we knew that it was part of the Light Festival. This is Swans by Jon Voss. The artist has captured the pair of swans at the very moment of takeoff. They rise together, their heads stretched forward, their wings beating in perfect unison. And the objective was to convey a message of togetherness, which I feel the world as a whole could use. Be a swan, everyone. Be the best swan you can be.
Okay, we are looking at Rhapsodia, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, by M. Moser Associates. This is a digital tapestry that is woven from the wishes and dreams of visitors to the Amsterdam Light Festival. Oh,
Hey,
that's
that's
my
me.
wishes. And if you're looking at information in the app, if you scroll down, you can actually send in your wish.
Oh,
Like to access motion and orientation, okay?
woo!
Oh, these are different people's wishes.
Wow.
You can add your message.
Oh, you literally add your wish to the tapestry.
So if somebody says, I wish to be proud of myself, I hope you are.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you too.
Whoever you are, I'm proud of you. This here is called Coral Luminance, designed by Singaporean artist Henry Hu. Possible mispronunciation there, it might be Hugh. This is a statement on the warming and acidifying oceans that are destroying the coral reefs worldwide. You can actually make a donation to entities and agencies that are trying to save these coral reefs right here from the pylon or in the app.
We are looking at Solid Void by artist duo Vendel and De Wolf. This is supposed to represent neutrinos, which are very, very tiny, almost invisible neutral particles. It's an ode to the sense of wonder we feel when confronted with natural phenomena we can't fully grasp.
It's my life in an art piece. These collective antennae, which run on both sides of the canal over here, are known as one piece called the Antenna Sud. This is a piece by Italian artist Michele Bonzi, which, as always, I could be absolutely butchering that pronunciation, but these are real antennas wrapped in LED cables, and it's meant to indicate that a quarter of the Netherlands does lie below sea level, as does a large part of Amsterdam, so this is a statement on climate change. And they will not be so pretty as this when the houses are underwater.
The second to last exhibit of our walking tour is Keep Me Warm by Norwegian artist Thomas Bendiksen. Thomas Bendiksen brings a familiar object into public space. He asks us to reflect on our dependence on warmth, not just the warmth of a home and a heater, but also the warmth of social closeness and human connection.
And the question I have is this Thomas Bendiksen's houseboat? Because this is welded on to the top of it.
Maybe the whole boat is part of it too. I don't know.
I mean, is he in there right now?
Hello!
Thomas? And this, my friends, is where our journey ends. This exhibit is called All the Light You See, and the rest of the message, as illustrated by the art, is all the light you see is from the past. This has actually been assembled by an American artist named Alicia Eggert, and they chose a classic billboard for this message. The glowing neon letters and the wooden frame are intended to pull us backward in time. Everything that exists now comes from what came before, and the billboard flickers to remind us of forgotten US cities. Some final thoughts on the Amsterdam Winter Light Festival as we begin to pack it in here. What a magnificent walk. I do believe that some of these displays were probably better seen from the boats. I will also say the street food walk, the buy-in where you get the additional brews and bites on your way, I feel like that did put us on a little bit of a clock, which can be a good and a bad thing. Some of the restaurants do stop serving the particular stamped food offerings that you're meant to have at around 9:30 on the dot. The Light Festival continues on after that. Typically, the lights themselves will stay on a little bit later, and I do recommend the street walk for the pacing, if not for the actual views.
I really enjoyed the street food walk as well. The restaurants that we tried, the bites that we had were delicious. I don't know if they partner with the same restaurants year over year. Hopefully, it at least gives you some insight into what you can expect from the street food walk ticket.
And also gives you some insight into the amazing food offerings that Amsterdam has year-round. It's not like these restaurants close outside of the festival season. I've just had a wonderful evening.
I had a great evening. It was really fun.
Let's go.
This is a great date night, friends out night, just get out there, walk around, and see the city in a different way.
Yeah, it has been a wonderful, if freezing, evening, you guys, but we are cold and tired and we are gonna go ahead and pack it in. So until next time, I've been Tim.
I'm Katie.
And every night,
There's a new adventure.
we will see you again soon. Tootsies!
Doei!